again for joining us. And here we go. We're gonna start this webinar, and we're so excited to have you here. But at these like times of deep grief, we will start with talking about our people in Gaza who are enduring unbearable suffering. And while aggression continues in the West Bank, families are being torn apart, lives cut short, and the most basic rights, which are safety, healthcare, and dignity, are being denied. One of the painful consequences of this reality is the growing number of Palestinians living with disabilities. And that's not only because of natural causes, but because of relentless attacks and the deliberate denial of medical care. This is why disability justice must be central to our conversation here today and to our vision for a free and inclusive Palestine. It is in this spirit that we open the Building Liberation webinar series, starting with a conversation that uplifts the voices of those building pathways of hope in the face of despair. We are deeply, deeply, deeply grateful to the iconic Maysoon Zayid for kindly joining us today. In times like these, we all need moments of light and laughter, and Maysoon has the rare gift of making us laugh while never losing sight of our pain and our resilience. We are also honored to spotlight the story of our resilient fellow as well, Suha Khuffash, who is the founder of Art to Heart in Nablus, a Nablus-based social enterprise that uses art as a pathway to dignity, inclusion, and opportunity for people with disabilities. Through their conversation today, we will reflect on Suha's journey, the vision behind Art to Heart, and the truth that a liberated Palestine must include every voice, every ability, and every dream. Thank you so much again, and thank you for everyone who's joining us and standing with us in solidarity. And now I will hand it over to the diva, Maysoon.
Rehan, thank you so much for having me. Shukran. This is such a privilege to be here with Suha. And Suha, I first want to talk a little bit about disability in Palestine, just to kind of ground us in where we are now and where we're looking to in the future. And then I want you to tell me about Art to Heart. So right now, we Palestinians are living through something called a mass disabling event. A mass disabling event is an event in history that causes a massive amount of disabilities. And in recorded modern history, we have not had a mass disabling event like the one that we are surviving, the relentless one we are surviving right now. That mass disabling event includes the largest number of child and adult amputees in one concentration, but it also includes another disability that's close to my heart, which is cerebral palsy. I have cerebral palsy, and I have had it since the day I was born. And cerebral palsy is caused by accidents and difficulties during birth, during the prenatal period, or shortly after birth. And this is going to be happening a lot with babies that are born in Gaza, because the babies being born in Gaza right now are being born under extraordinarily traumatic circumstances with little to no prenatal or postnatal care and severe malnutrition. We also have other disabilities that are going to result from the fact that our skies are full of toxins from the weapons that have exploded all around us. And we have people who have lost their hearing from the relentless sound disturbances that we've been exposed to. The future of Palestine is disabled, but that doesn't mean that we have no future or that we have no hope, because I often maintain that between life and death is disability, and that disability is better than death. Now, I'm someone who has been disabled my entire life and who has really advocated not just for disability equality, which to me is defined by equal access to health care, equal access to education, and equal access to get divorced, meaning equal access to get married. But we all know in the end, if you want to be really happy, you get divorced. So equal access to love and divorce. Looking at you, I don't see someone who is visibly disabled. I use the word visibly disabled because there are so many invisible disabilities, but you don't identify as a disabled woman. Why did you found Art to Heart, and what is Art to Heart?
Thank you, Maysoon. Thank you, Maysoon and Build Palestine for having me today. It's really a great opportunity to be with you, and thank you everyone for joining us. Actually, this is a very important question, Maysoon. I am not a person with disability, but we as Palestinians are disabled by the occupation, first of all. All our life, I've been living all my life here in Palestine with limited access, for example, to health services, let's say, and with the checkpoints cutting off our daily transportation from one place to another. And when I remember when I was at the university, I couldn't really reach the university to study or to do my daily, everyday education. So we can feel the disability in our life, in our daily life. So when we compare it to the people with disabilities, we can really understand how it is. But of course, I have a personal story to tell. And this is where I really found that, okay, maybe we need to do something. I need to do something because I lived the disability of my uncle since my childhood. And this came to me when to be
So
honest,
you
maybe
you
in
had
my,
a
yes,
disabled uncle growing up?
yes,
And
exactly.
did he live with you, or was he just someone who was really close to your family?
He was very close to the family, and I used to see him on daily basis because in our Palestinian families we interact all the time. We go and to visit each other. But anyway, let me tell you how the story started, and I realized that okay, maybe I should do something to help people, not to help, maybe to empower people with disabilities to get some kind of empowerment. So this came to be real when I first visited London back in 2011. I was invited to attend a festival in the UK. I was working at that time for an international organization. Maybe you know about it, Maysoon. It's the Unlimited Festival. It's a major
Hmm.
festival on arts and disability. At that time, I thought, oh, of course, my manager at that time told me that I should go and just try to check what we can do when I'm back in disability and arts. At that time, I thought, what I am going to do with disability and arts as a team, as something that we can really achieve change in our society. There are basic needs for people with disabilities that are not realized. Who would care about art and the disability? But it was really a life-changing event when I went there, and I attended different performances, exhibitions, art shows, talks by artists with disability. At that time, I started comparing, to be honest, the disabled people as artists and the disabled people in society. Maybe I didn't know that there are talented people with disabilities in Palestine. So this was the starting point. I came back after meeting a well-known, internationally renowned artist. Her name is Rachel Gadsden. She is a visual artist with disability. And I started talking to her, invited her to come to Palestine, and we started our journey of trying to identify where the people with disabilities who have the talent, where are they? And I remember moving from one place to another, from one city to another, of course, under the umbrella of my work at the British Council at that time as the arts program manager. So we identified a number of people with disabilities who are talented, who just were looking for an opportunity, like Amne Hussein from Jerusalem. She is a visual artist, and I was really inspired by her artwork. And this is where I decided, that time when I decided, okay, this is a turning point in my life. I really want to resign and to start something maybe local for Palestine in my community. And that's where Art to Heart came to be the dream.
So I want to get you a little bit more focused. You see
Yeah,
what's happening in Europe, which is
yeah,
not Palestine, which is
exactly.
not culturally like us, which is not living
Yeah,
under this brutal, relentless, murderous occupation.
yeah,
What makes you think I can make this work in Palestine?
yeah,
How do you decide what to focus on? And
yeah,
one of the most important things to me is disabilities are so different, right? So, like, my cerebral palsy makes me shake, it makes it hard to
yeah,
walk. Someone else is blind, somebody else is autistic. How do you serve diverse disabilities?
yeah. Actually, when you said that, of course, in Europe, the context is different, the support is different, and the needs are different. When we're talking about Palestine, if we go back to the history, people with disabilities are part of the national struggle, and they were there in everywhere. They were around, and a lot of people who are disability activists now, they were injured or يعني, maybe affected by the Israeli military forces, the violence. So they became disability activists. And I think this is a very important point
What
to start
what
from.
what would you say, like, it has been, just to give context to people who don't know the context?
Yeah,
Disability, disabled Palestinians have been part of the liberation movement from its inception, but
yeah,
also a lot of Palestinians who have become disabled throughout the decades, whether it was the first Intifada or any of the relentless massacres that we've been put through these past 70, 80 years, that these people are also disability advocates. So
yeah,
we have a portion of society that's born this way. We have a portion of society that became wounded through violence and through massacres and through constant,
yeah,
relentless military campaigns against the
yeah,
indigenous Palestinian people who became
yeah,
disabled.
yeah.
Where do you start when you have something this huge? How did you focus Art to Heart? And really importantly for everyone listening, what makes it work in such a brutal, big context?
Yeah. Uh, I will tell you, and I will be speaking from my heart, Maysoon. I will be talking about what really happened as part of my journey starting Art to Heart. When I came back, I thought, okay, I need to talk to people. I need to listen to people. Of course, keeping in my mind my uncle's story, who died lonely. He was in his early years, a businessman, intelligent man who used to travel the world. But when he had developed, a kind of disease, he became disabled. He had to stay at home. He didn't leave home. We used to go and visit him, but in an inaccessible city where he didn't have the chance to go to a public park or to attend a cultural event at a theater. Then I thought, okay, we need to do something. So I started talking to people, to mothers of people with disabilities. I get some database from organizations working with people with disabilities, talking to them directly and talking to the mothers. So I decided, okay, we will open an inclusive cultural organization that would welcome everyone to join. We started by organizing workshops, art workshops, expressive art workshops that might be, we don't know. We didn't know what's going to happen. Then,
What age
yep,
group were the workshops for?
they were for children and age, let's say 6 to 14, and then youth. We also started working with people with the youth and with the adults. It was like a pilot phase for us that was in 2018. And we started to learn ourselves how and what the needs are. To be honest with you, most of the people who came to our center were people with intellectual disabilities. And I know why, because this group, they really don't have any kind of space to go to, especially at the age of 12, 13, 14. They have to stay at home. They don't go to school. Okay, because our system is not really welcoming or not accessible for them. Teachers sometimes they need to be trained on how to work with people with
And
disabilities, how to teach them.
the system is honestly completely overwhelmed in Palestine. You're looking at some of the areas in Palestine because you have such a huge student population and such a small schooling system. We can barely teach the mainstream students. So while it makes extraordinary sense to mainstream disabled students, whether intellectually, physically, or emotionally, we don't have access to those services yet. And when I talk about building the future of Palestine, I think that when we rebuild this society after everything we've been through, we have to rebuild in a way that is completely inclusive. But I understand why there is no inclusion right now. It has so much less to do with bigotry and supremacy, and so much more to do with access and actual ability to educate.
Exactly. And that's where we thought, okay, we can do something here as a small cultural organization, as a nonprofit. So we welcomed these people to come to our organization. We started giving them classes in art, but which also we developed to be like a bridge for life. Now we have a program called Bridges, which it's like a club. They come on a daily basis. They attend the classes in painting, in drawing, in Arabic, in math. So we reconnect them with the education system. Those who didn't have the chance to study, we have our team ready to work with them. And we're really inspired by the artwork that they are producing, whether it's an expressive way to tell us their story, their anger, or to share with us their how they feel about the daily challenges that they face as a result of the occupation. I can tell you, for example, that one of our students or members, her name is Lamar. She's coming from Sebastia, a village near Nablus city. And one day she came to the center and she was really pale. She was shaking, and I told her, "What's wrong, Lamar? Is there anything wrong that we can help with?" And I immediately understand that there is something wrong about, the occupation and what happened. And we just gave her a crayon, and she started painting and drawing. And then from what she drew and painted, she then expressed to us that the military of forces invaded the village where she lived the day before or the night before, and she had to hide under the bed to feel safe and secure. Then she came the next morning and she's really worried and stressed. So we gave her the art just to express herself and to become more calm and relaxed. We have lots of stories, Maysoon, that make us feel that this is the right thing that we're doing. For example, Zaid Al-Aghbar, he came with his mother to our center, and the first thing we asked his mother, what is he good at? Does he have any kind of artistic talent? And she said, okay, Zaid is really good in making salad and help me at the kitchen. Then we started giving him different classes, and he really excelled in the way he used the art to express himself, not only as art as expression, but also as an artist. He started drawing amazing artworks. And now, after 3 years, we support Zaid to be an independent, emerging artist. His artwork is amazing. We're putting everything together now of his work, and we're trying to help him to be an independent artist to have his business hopefully in the future, and a lot of other human stories, like they come to our center, they have friends, they start to communicate with each other, they start to express their feelings, and we can really see the change that we're making in their lives.
So this is a lot about sustainability, and I love the idea. I saw you hold up a memory game. I guess that you're using his artwork to make the cards. I love the sustainability. But Suha, I'm going to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
I want us to give a call to action to those of us joining us. And I want those of us joining us to also amplify our message and share it with their communities and share it with their networks and share it on social media. But I have to be honest with you, right now, there is so much immense trauma and suffering and even starvation in Palestine.
Yeah.
Why is it so important to have a small, grassroots, Palestinian women-led organization in Nablus doing the work that you are doing right now? And what can our donations do to change a life? Like, I sometimes feel like, okay, I'm going to give Suha $20 a month, right? That's nothing for me, thank God, because I'm very privileged. $20 a month is something that's really easy for me to do. But what does it do? Why does it matter? Why in this giant landscape is it so important that we give what we can and we amplify art to heart? And then after Suha answers that, you all have your chance to do a little Q&A. You can throw us as many questions as you want in the Q&A, and we'll be happy to answer those in the time given. But I really want to start out with, you're telling me these great stories, and I love a good story. I'm a storyteller. I love a good story. But tell me why Art to Heart and how we can actually make a difference with our donations.
Yeah. Because first of all, art, you know, we are Palestinians. Art, for us, art is also resistance. And now, even now in Gaza, people are practicing art despite all the massacres they are witnessing. You know, they are singing. They sometimes they do dabke, so they tell the story through the writing and the poetry. So art is there, all our history. So that I think we need to focus here on the arts as a real mean to change lives and to help people live in dignity. So when we talk about life, about art, especially at Art to Heart, we're changing people's life and we're getting people ready to share with us the stories that they are living now and try to advocate for their rights in the future. As Riham mentioned in the introduction, we are expecting the numbers of people with disabilities to increase as a result of what is going on now in Palestine. So, with what we are doing now, it's very important for us to know that art is resistance. And what we are doing is that we are building lives now. We are not only working with people with disabilities, we are also working with the community around us. For example, we go out to schools, we go out to the universities, and we empower our artists and our students with disabilities to speak and to present themselves and to say what they really want and what they don't right with, what they don't want. So it's up to whole community to be united and to speak together, and
The definition
interdependence
of
is very
inclusion.
important.
It's the definition of inclusion. You're making sure to be
Inclusion.
inclusive. You're
Yes.
dealing with trauma. You're
Yeah.
creating pathways for success.
Yeah.
Ata in the questions had asked if if you knew of any writers and narrators or artists that they could collaborate with. So you're also creating pathways for collaboration, and you're employing local artists to teach these workshops, and you're employing local
Exactly.
staff, right?
Exactly.
Your
And one of
staff
our,
is,
yeah.
may I ask, your local staff in Nablus are not all volunteers. They are paid. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes,
I
they
think
are
one of
paid.
the most important and most neglected things in Palestine right now is that we Palestinians do have dignity and we do want to work and we do prefer salaries over charity. So
Mhm.
while you're helping give language to people who are suffering trauma and give community to those who were left behind, like your uncle, you're also creating economic opportunities locally for
Exactly.
people to be employed, predominantly women, but for people to be employed and to take those salaries and inject them into their communities. Because when you're paying people locally in Palestine, in a place where tourism has been obliterated, the ability to move around is gone,
Mhm.
building has halted to a stop. When you're giving people salaries, Suha, this is
Mhm.
something that I personally look at as one of the most important, most dignified,
Yeah.
most empowering things that we can do is pay people to do what they love.
Exactly. And it's also very important to help the artists we are working with. I mean, those with disabilities. We are empowering them now to have their own income generating businesses in the future. And Art to Heart will be working with them as a hub for creativity. So we will be supporting them through special mentorship sessions on developing their artistic talents. We will be connecting them to sell the products that they produce as a result of their art. So there is an economic empowerment component that would really help them survive and help them be leaders in their area. Through them, we are going to change the society and the narrative about the stereotypes on people with disabilities. They see them as artists, as people who really represent the society and who will be partners in the political future of liberated Palestine. No one will be left behind. Now, us in Palestine, we've been left behind, but we will make sure not to be left behind through our interdependence. We will help each other, and it's gonna be really an inclusive society and a diverse one where everyone will have a role in liberated Palestine. This is the disability justice, and this is the justice that we want for Palestine. Everyone should have a role, and this is what we are doing now in as part of our work at Art to Heart. So, what we really want from people is to help us continue and sustain our work with our artists and members, especially that we are boycotting the conditional funding. And I'm sure maybe you know what I mean by the conditional funding. It's
Yeah.
yeah, the conditions that imposed by some international organizations on NGOs in Palestine, which really contradict our national struggle values. Like we have to sign a cause that we are not a terrorist or we don't support any kind of terrorism. This is really ridiculous. So we decided we're not going to take any money from any conditional funding. And in return, or as an alternative, we will depend on ourselves. So as at Art to Heart, we developed our own business model since the beginning of the war in Gaza. And now we have artists producing very nice artworks like the memory game I just shared with you, like this nice story by Lamar.
These incredible products are all available for purchase on your website.
Yes, exactly. They
And
are.
like we could pick stuff that we love and we could put it on our social media. Like
Yeah,
let's say if we have a Facebook or Instagram, we could be like, hey, go to Art to Heart and do all of
yeah,
your back to school shopping, get some great
yeah.
books with original Palestinian art. But also, so tell me, $100 a month donation. What
Mhm.
what could that be used to do on the
Yeah.
ground in Nablus?
It will help us offer transportation for one of our members with disability plus art materials. So we
Can I
have a
just talk
grant
about
page.
transportation, Saha? Can I please
Sorry?
talk about, can I just talk about
Yeah.
transportation? Anyone who's listening who doesn't know, so it doesn't mean a cute little yellow school bus is gonna pick up Jimmy and bring him. No, transportation in Palestine is brutal and it is dangerous. It is extraordinarily difficult to move around as a disabled person because our roads are intentionally destroyed on a daily basis. We are sent to detours on a daily basis. The presence of the armed forces and actual mortal danger is present, and our drivers are like superheroes who know how to kind of take every detour and climb every mountain and get us where we need to go. So when we talk about transportation, we're not talking about something simple, we're talking about something crucial. And everything in Palestine is expensive because everything that we use, breathe, or hear is controlled by the occupation. So even the gas for the transport is extraordinarily expensive. So transport is not something to take lightly. And crucial to being inclusive is being able to safely transport disabled participants to Heart to Heart.
Exactly. And it will also help us provide art materials, support our staff, as you mentioned, Maysoon. All donations will really help. What even if small amounts will really help because we are determined to continue in working with dignity and in empowering people with disabilities. So any support will really help. But also, we would love people who are here with us to spread the word about Art to Heart. And I think we also made it easy for people living in the US or anywhere in the world to donate to through our partners in the USA, the Middle East Children's Alliance, who work
Oh
as
my
our
God,
fiscal.
they're
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's really easy just to do that. And Build Palestine team, our friends, they helped us with that. Thank you so much for all the help. Everything can really have impact on our journey with people with disabilities. So anyone who really would like to partner with us, please send us a message, join our newsletter, subscribe to our mailing list, and be our ambassador wherever you are. And if you learn about any opportunity to sell our products wherever you are, please do. And that would really help us support ourselves with dignity.
Hey, you Palestinians, you're always getting married, and I'm always making fun of you, and I'm always telling you that you waste way too much money on your weddings. You waste way
Yeah.
too much money on your weddings. So if you're getting married, I want you to get online. I want you to order every single wedding favor from Art to Heart. They have a million
Yeah, please.
things that would be beautiful wedding favors. Let's sell them out. And I really think that having products and giving a pathway to the artists to not only deal with trauma, but giving them a pathway to independence is just so extraordinary. Newsletter link doesn't work. Let's get that up there again. And also maybe we'll be able to send a cute follow-up to everyone who was in this Zoom with all of the amazing shopping links. So we need people to donate right now. We need them not to be shy. If you donate $5, donate $5. If you can donate $10,000, donate $10,000. If you have no money, but you have a huge network of friends, guilt them into donating. Instead of getting birthday gifts this year, you don't need birthday gifts. Ask people to donate to Art to Heart. There's so many different sustainable ways that you can support this organization. But there's two different things I want to see right now. One, I want to see questions in the chat or the Q&A that we can answer. And two is I want to see a bunch of donations today. I want to get off of this webinar and find out that we raised a couple of $1,000s today.
Oh, yeah.
Because yeah, I mean, My cat's name is Shakira, and there's another one named Beyonce roaming around Aga asked about. So we want to start, first of all, there was a question about partner organizations. Now, I know one of the organizations that you partner with is Middle East Children's Alliance. And I want everyone to know you can go on Groundspring and Network for Good, and you can look up Middle East Children's Alliance. They are in fantastic standing in the United States. So if you're worried about donating to a Palestinian charity and then having, you know, a thug from the US government snatch you and send you to El Salvador, the Middle East Children's Alliance is in good standing, and that's not going to happen. You can easily donate to them. So what other organizations are you partnering with?
We will be soon partnering with Care International. So we will be working with them on a project for the mothers of children with disabilities. We also have partnership with the festival, Shubak Festival in the UK,
Oh,
where
that's
we
good.
joined, where we joined a group or organized for a group of artists from the region, artists with disabilities. That was last year to perform there and attend the festival.
So we have to perform there next year because they
Inshallah.
actually invited me and we
Oh,
didn't make it
yes.
happen because I didn't know that they were doing this incredible inclusive work for Palestine.
Oh,
So
yes.
I
Yeah,
know
they're amazing. They're amazing.
we have to hook up with them. That's
Yes.
really interesting. And I want to reiterate something you said. I just want to repeat something you said. You are very, very careful when choosing any organization to partner with to make sure that is in line with Palestinian dignity,
Of
equality,
course.
disability rights, and liberation. And that is something that you're not willing to compromise, even
Of
if the
course.
organization is a Palestinian organization. You are
Yeah,
doing your homework so that
of
we
course.
don't have to.
Exactly. Exactly. I totally agree with you. And this is one of the values of Art to Heart. We are all committed to this, and we are depending on ourselves, on our community, on our ambassadors all over the world, just to be able to live in dignity and يعني with pride. So, yeah, I totally agree with you. We will never compromise that.
Okay, we have one of your staff, Lemma, who has agreed to get married simply so that the favors can be from Art to Heart. So, you know, I want anyone else who wants to volunteer, I will match make for you. I will find your nasiib for you. If you guarantee to me that 10% of all of your includes 10% of your wedding gifts are donated to Art to Heart, and that all of their favors are purchased from Art to Heart. I
That's amazing.
I think I need to make a whole like
Yeah.
side hustle here. Um,
Yeah, it's a good
yeah.
deal.
Have you connected with any of the Palestinian museums around the world?
Yes, yes. We worked with Palestinian Museum in Palestine, of course, and all the time. But actually not outside Palestine, not
I
yet.
think
But we would
someone,
love to do that.
yeah, because Anam Riham brought up the fact that you need to connect with the museums here. The Arab American National Museum in Dearborn,
Mm,
the Palestinian Museum in Connecticut, and the Palestinian Museum in DC. They would be
Allah.
great places,
Yeah.
inshallah. And Am is volunteering to be a museum ambassador for you. Okay,
Okay,
so
great.
you spoke about young adults. Can you explain to me how much lacking in services there are for young men in Palestine with disabilities, ages 14 to say 24?
Yeah. As I just mentioned, with all the restrictions, limitations of the daily life we're living in Palestine, the access to the health services, access to education. But when it comes to the real life work, I mean the employment, the source of income, I don't think they have equal opportunity to access the work and to the job opportunities. So this is a major issue for people with disabilities in Palestine. It's not all everything. Yani, I don't mean everything has to do with the occupation. It's also our own systems here in the country. The limited resources that we have, the imposed policies on Palestinians through different sources, it makes life even more difficult for people with disabilities. They don't have options. And I just told you about my uncle, who was charismatic, full of life, ambitious person. But at the end, there were no opportunities in the real life for him to excel or to prove or to realize his dream. So he really missed everything when he became disabled. I hope that this will change because it needs a whole, interdependence between the ecosystem in Palestine to work together to improve the situation of people living with disabilities. So it's not a responsibility of one organization. And I don't claim that Heart to Heart will be able to change the society or the systems, but we can advocate for that by empowering people with disabilities to speak up. It's our responsibility not to be the voice of them, but to empower them to speak up and to be, at least to pass the mic for them. And this is what we did with the mothers of children with intellectual and youth with intellectual disabilities.
And I think what you said, Heart to Heart doesn't solve every single problem,
Of
but
course.
it is scaled, it is built in a way
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it can get real-time results,
Yeah.
that it can employ local talent, that it can create a pathway for independence, a pathway to community, and a pathway to amplify voices in a region where
Yeah.
our voices are literally being erased. We are
Exactly.
being silenced worldwide. And Heart to Heart is fighting to amplify voices that are silenced regardless of the environment. And more important than ever, because we are the future of Palestine. The future is disabled. And while you're allowing people to find their voices, while you're amplifying their voices, you're also creating a pathway for future disabled generations to say, I can become an artist. Show me what you're holding.
Yes, this is what I really want to show you. This is an inclusive activity as part of an inclusive summer club, which we organize every year. So this is very important. We're working with the new generation. We're trying to break the barriers of isolation of the people with disabilities. So they are here together, singing, playing, practicing art, attending different activities. And this is the graduation, the annual graduation party of our members with disabilities, intellectual disabilities. Actually, we didn't know that it was not in our plan from the beginning. But one day, one of our students came to us saying, okay, you're going to give me a certificate at the end of the year. We said, oh, yes, of course. We're going to have a small graduation party. And then we didn't really realize how important that event was for her. Her name is Sumud. She's 30 years old. She's never been to a graduation at the school, while at the same time attending the graduation parties of her relatives, her brothers and sisters. So she came to us saying, please play the song of Abd al-Halim, وحياة قلبي وأفراحه. I'm sure you know it, Maysoon. So it was her dream to have her own graduation party. And we really realized that it's as simple as that. Just try to change lives and to make them feel happy and proud of themselves. And then the pathway is open for a diverse future for a liberated
And again, it
Palestinians and
comes back to
Palestine.
dignity. We have been so stripped of our dignity. We've been stripped of our humanity. We've been stripped of our limbs. And
Yeah.
something as simple as an inclusive generational graduation makes such a big difference.
Yeah. Education is important for
Questions.
Palestinians.
We need questions in the Q&A. because the graduation made me cry. So we need questions in the Q&A.
We cry every day of happiness, and
We
sometimes of
cry of
sadness.
happiness, we cry of sadness, we cry.
Everything, yes.
We cry because the water is cut off in Palestine and we need water for watercolor painting. So
Yeah.
mostly I just save my tears and give them to Suha to paint with. Greetings from Peru. I'm a psychologist and art therapist student. We have Ali introducing themselves. And I'm asked, are there any government-led disability justice? Can I answer this one? And I'm are there any government-led disability justice initiatives in Palestine, or does the responsibility primarily fall on civil society? In my opinion, and then I'll send it to Sarah, it falls completely 100% on Palestinian civil society. Unfortunately, the government serves only one purpose, and that is to enforce the occupation. And any initiatives that are actually happening are coming from local organizations, from local villages. Like my village, Deir Jabwan, we fundraise in our own village to build like a diabetes clinic and to get like an ambulance. And so that's something local. Churches and masjids are also providing a lot of stuff. There's some great local organizations, but when it comes to the actual quote unquote government, their job is not to build us up. It is to control us. Suha, do you have
Yeah.
any comment on that?
I agree. No, actually, I agree with you, but I don't even think about this, you know. I have to take the lead in finding a way to improve our lives. And this is an example. This is Haya. She is a young girl with disability from the old city in Nablus. It's just a small, yani, a very small initiative that we really managed to change this playground into an accessible one for children in the old city in Nablus, where we had, you know, al'ab, accessible malahi, where they can now spend time enjoying life, what they think, you know, is their right, just to leave house, the home, and just to be together. This is Haya, where we managed really to get her out of home when we have a specialized space for her. This is done in partnership with the municipality and the civil society organizations. Municipality just, you know, supported us with the electricity, but we had to do everything on our own with support from Qattan Foundation in Ramallah. So
Okay.
yeah,
I love
small
Qattan,
steps.
by the way. They just produced my disability talk show. The
Yeah.
questions have opened up. So now now we're gonna speed through them. Let's see. We're gonna start with Aga. They are asking, is there a disability rights forum in Palestine?
There is, of course, there is a forum managed by or يعني, run by activists, disability activists. There is the Union for People with Disabilities. It's in everywhere, but you know it's really limited in terms of resources and power. So they are there, but we collaborate from time to time on certain projects. But they are there.
I have a question from Anam. How do you envision Art to Heart growing?
Okay, this is the dream, and I'm sure one day it will be realized. I can see Art to Heart as a big, huge building somewhere in Nablus, bringing together people with disabilities from everywhere, where they will find, everyone will find their own whatever they dream of. It will be realized there. We will have workshops in arts. We will have education classes for everyone who's not getting the right education at school system. We will have galleries to present the artwork of people with disabilities. We will have spaces for mothers to come together to share experiences, to
And
learn from each
fathers.
other.
And
And we
fathers.
will have you, Maysoon, one day to come to Nablus and perform at this building, which I'm dreaming of. It will happen one day. This is my dream.
Inshallah, ya Habibti. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
And I'll help you design it because absolutely no one in Palestine knows how to design an accessible building. They get it 90% right, and then all of a sudden there's a big stair this big right outside the
Yeah.
elevator, right
Yeah.
outside the ramp, the bahuni. Matilda has a really, really like important question. How did you succeed in creating your own financial system, not dependent on conditioned donors? She said external donors, but it's really conditioned donors.
Yeah, the conditional funding is out of question. We're not taking it, but we also have our own alternative plans. We don't, I think we work with whatever we have. For example, since the beginning of the war in Gaza, we decided to develop our business model and the entrepreneurship model for the organization. We started producing our products. We planned income generating activities. Like, for example, we are about to launch an art school, the first art school in Nablus for painting and visual arts. And these are paid services but the problem or the challenge is that we are really living under very difficult economic situation these days. But all the time, we rely on the community, we rely on ourselves. There are volunteers who come and work with us, and even staff. If there is no funding, they don't stop working. They are so passionate about the work, but it's better for us really to find a way to have a sustainable income, maybe a membership from people who really are now attending the webinar. I would like to be part of this a process or to support the dream of Art to Heart and its team. And actually, yes, I think one day we will realize our dreams by relying on our own communities and philanthropists all over the world.
Well, the very first thing that we can do is what we've seen some people in the chat already commit to and do, which is donate today. They say that if you donate on the spot, you don't forget. They tell you don't put it down, put it away. And what I'm telling you is if you can donate, click the link and give double what you thought you were going to give. And then, like, I can guarantee you it's going to come from somewhere else. So if you can donate, donate. If you can't donate, think of who are the ballers in your life. Who are the people who have that expendable $20, $100, $1,000 that are looking for a way to support Palestine, that are afraid to because they don't know where their money's going to go. You can show them where it's going to go. You can show the incredible history that Art to Heart has and the products that they're making. Finally, if you really think of yourself as completely, utterly useless, as I said, you can share Art to Heart products on your social media. You can, highlight a different product each week. You can highlight a different artist's work each week. If you have a local museum that's not an Arab museum and that's not a Palestinian museum, but a visual arts museum, they may want to carry some of this in their gift shop. So whatever you can do to help realize Soha's message of employing Palestinians, giving voice to the voiceless, giving us a way to deal with our trauma, giving us a way to resist in the most beautiful calligraphic way, help us today and be a champion for Art to Heart. Aga wants to know, are there PAL publishers with whom you're connected? Who's publishing? I'm going to piggyback Ag's book. Who's publishing these books? You held up some books. Who's publishing them for you?
There is still newly published, but there is no company or other publishing agency. Still, it's just our own locally produced at the organization, but not yet with publishers. So if you have a channel to partner or to be in direct contact with publishers, that would be fantastic. We have this product, we have this product as well, but they are not yet
What is this
published.
product?
I mean, this one.
Yeah, what is that?
These are paintings by Zayid with autism, hand drawn, and they can be painted or
That's incredible. I love that.
drawing. And we have stickers from this also. So with the Palestinian from Palestine, these are all handmade drawings by
stickers.
Zaid.
Put that
Yeah.
sticker on your Mac, Apple, cover the
Yeah.
Apple. Stop
Yes.
giving Tim Cook a free advertisement.
Yes.
Put up Zay's sticker instead.
Yep.
Yeah, I love though that you're working with local printers. I actually like that too.
Yeah, we work with Al Hijawi printer shop. It's like, it's not a publishing company, but it's printing, yani local printing company. I also would like to show you this artwork. I'm sure you will like it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
This is by Amne Hussein. This is how her world, as an artist with disability, this is how she see the world.
The world.
On crutches, inaccessible buildings. But at the same time, this artwork means a lot to me. This is the world now for me. This is
Yeah.
the world, the real
Yeah.
world. After what we've
Yes.
witnessed in Gaza, the world is not helping us. It is inaccessible. It's not our problem. It is the world's problem with all that is going on now in Palestine. So the problem is there, not here.
And I've had a great suggestion. Listen, Shakira, people are saying that you're being very disruptive and you must. Shakira's gonna come and she's gonna take one of the art classes
Oh, yes.
where the students must draw her.
Okay.
You see, just
Yeah, it will be the postcard.
all of her glory. And Anne said something that I thought was such a great suggestion, which is if you're posting your outrage about Palestine, partner it with a solution. And this is a solution. Shakira for Art to Heart. Yay. And Shakira Yani, we'll call her Shakra عشان
Shara.
الناس يفكروا انها فنانة أصلية. Okay, everybody. We're going to be wrapping up. I want to repeat a couple of things, and then I want to give the last word to our incredible creator and visionary, Suha. So
Thank you.
we can sign up for the newsletter and just know everything that's happening. We can visit the Hazine store and shop till we drop. We can buy our Christmas gifts, our birthday gifts, our gifts that we throw in the house because we forget people's birthdays and anniversaries and have them ready to go whenever we want. We can shop and share, and we can donate, and we can share links to donate. Is there a way that we can do one of those social media fundraisers? Does Art to Heart have its own like Instagram? Can we follow you on all the different social media networks? Somebody asked if they can follow me. Of course you can follow me. I'm so easy. Just put Maysoon Comedian and everything comes up. But Art to Heart, we can follow you on Instagram, on Facebook. Yes?
Yes, and LinkedIn and YouTube.
Nobody uses LinkedIn, but for the one person out there who uses LinkedIn, I want you to be the person who follows Art to Heart and proves to me that it's worth having a LinkedIn account. And Am says, please commit to taking action in at least one way to amplify, whether donating, joining mailing lists, or sending a message to your networks. Also, anyone who's based in the US, if you know any of the Arab speaking schools, like I know in New Jersey, they have Al Ghazali, and there's a couple of different Arabic speaking schools. I think the books would be incredible for the young readers at the Arabic speaking schools in the United States.
Yeah.
Suha, listen, you've been doing this now for 7 years. And this past 2 years, like at the 5-year mark, you experienced more challenges than you ever thought you could. And I asked earlier, we want to make your dreams come true. What is your final call to action to us? What are you sending us home with right now as I slam my laptop shut and I go racing to meet my 78-year-old, mashallah, like Khalili? She's going to be mad because I said her age. My
Inshallah.
than the occupation. As I run to meet my older than the occupation, mashallah, mother, to go marching with her because we march every single day because we're farmers. What do you want to leave everyone with? What is your final request, call to action to make this happen?
I really want everyone to talk about Art to Heart. It's about telling the story of people with disabilities. Please follow us and donate to Art to Heart on a monthly basis if you can. Tell your friends about us. And I think it's very important to realize, I hope you will be able to be part of our journey and realize our dream of becoming a hub for people with disabilities in the future. For people in Palestine who are with us today, please visit us in Nablus, and we aim really to break the barriers and to challenge all the limitation, the restriction that is put on people in Palestine. Let's challenge the checkpoints that are dividing our land. Come to our center, spend day with your family and have fun with our members with disabilities. It's not only about money, it's about real life experience. We want you to know the real stories of our people. So check our website from time to time, follow us, and read our newsletter. And in this way, we can spread the word and keep Art to Heart alive.
So I have one last question I've been saving to the end from an anonymous attendee. And this is something that has been challenging me a lot. They ask, how do you sustain love in a world that feels indifferent? How do you sustain love in your work?
If you believe in what you're doing, if you're passionate about the work you do, I think this is love. And in many situations, to be honest with you, we had moments when we felt, oh my God, what am I doing? People are dying, people are being killed, they've been massacred. But when I come back to my desk and I see the real change on the life of people we work with, I think this is love. I really love them. They love us. And that's why we continue our work with passion, with dignity. And I am really confident that what we're doing today is going to be the future, the future of the liberated Palestine. And we will see this love continuing and spreading. And one day we will all be what we really want to be, as the saying, سنكون يوما ما نريد. And just we need to start from now. And we really love what we're doing. I'm talking about Art to Heart and my team here, my colleagues. Most of them are women, by the way. So we love our work, we love each other, and we continue.
Well, I have had a really enlightening time, and I'm excited to buy a bunch of books and stickers, and also to find Lemma a husband so that all of her favors at her wedding can be from Art to Heart. And I can't wait to see how much money we raised today, and I hope it was really impressive and more than we thought. And remember, this is just the beginning. Please share with your networks, shop, 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 connect, be an ambassador, amplify Art to Heart. I don't think that this could just be something great for Palestine. I think it could be something great for the world. The future of Palestine is disabled, and as we rebuild our country, our homes, and our societies, and our institutions, we can do so in an accessible way that becomes a beacon for the entire world to replicate. And Art to Heart can be the artistic heart of that society that we're trying to
Inshallah.
rebuild, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank
Listen,
you, everyone.
I'm the queen of the disabled people, but I shun dictatorships and monarchy, so I'm not going to become the queen of Palestine. Instead, I'm just going to be part of the Shilla. part of the group. And I can't wait to visit, inshallah, ala khair,
Next time. Yeah.
Nablus at Christmas. And
Promise.
inshallah, يا أختي قولي inshallah.
Inshallah, yes.
جوزي يمسحونا كنا. But
Inshallah.
inshallah, I'll be there. And my next trip to Palestine, I'm going to make sure that they drag me to Nablus, inshallah.
Inshallah. Waiting for you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being with us. And it's
الله
really
يعطيك
amazing.
العافية يا سهى.
Thank you. شكرا كتير يا ميسون. شكرا. شكرا everyone. شكرا BuildPalestine and people who are joining today. Inshallah you enjoyed our discussion, our talk. Inshallah.
يعطيكم ألف عافية. Thank you
الله يعافيك.
everyone. We really appreciate your time. Thank you to our queen Maysoon. Thank you to our amazing fellow Suha. Thank you so much. ويعطيكم ألف عافية. We're gonna end it here. We had so much fun and I'm blessed. But we're gonna end it here and hopefully we'll see you again in another webinar through the Building Liberation series. Thank you so much. Thank you.
شكرا يا ريهام. Bye bye.
Bye.
See you
And thank
later.
you
Bye.
to our ASL translators. Thank you to the Arabic and American Sign Language translators.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.